Shannon Reviews, where I just review stuff. The snow on the ground, the cold weather, and the decorations everywhere. That means it's almost Christmas!
Christmas is a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. The only time in the long calendar of the year when men and women seem by one consent to open their shut-up hearts freely and to think of people below them as if they really were fellow passengers to the grave, and not another race of creatures bound on other journeys.
Therefore, as fitting as a stocking on a fireplace, I'll be taking a look at an all-time Christmas classic, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens.
We all know the story. Ebenezer Scrooge is visited by his dead friend Jacob Marley, who's covered in chains, and is being told that if he doesn't change his cruel ways, he'll end up just like him. Scrooge gets visited by the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. Scrooge is saved, Tiny Tim lives, and they all live happily ever after.
And that is why today I'm looking at my top favorite A Christmas Carol adaptations. Now, I'm not doing any modernized version of the tale. The story itself was set in 1893, so I'm only looking at film versions set in that time period. However, I will make the following honorable mentions.
Scrooged, starring Bill Murray, An American Christmas Carol, starring Henry Winkler, Miss Scrooge, starring Cicely Tyson.
And now, my top favorite A Christmas Carol adaptations.
Number 6. Mickey's Christmas Carol. This is a sweet little adaptation. You have Scrooge McDuck as Ebenezer Scrooge, Donald Duck as the nephew, Mickey Mouse as Bob Cratchit, and Goofy as Jacob Marley. The vocabulary is modernized and toned down so the younger audiences can understand the film. Number 5. The Muppet Christmas Carol. Gonzo portrays Charles Dickens as he, along with Rizzo, tell the story. The bonus is having Michael Caine as Ebenezer Scrooge. He does the role justice, even though he's working with Muppets. Kermit plays Bob Cratchit, and Miss Piggy plays his wife.
You know, after that wonderful revamp of the Muppet Show, and also Miss Piggy and Kermit breaking up. And gosh darn, I thought they'd be the stereotypical Hollywood couple that would last.
Number 4. A Christmas Carol, starring Patrick Stewart. Who doesn't love Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Enterprise? Or Professor X for you comic book fans, as the main character himself. He gives a good portrayal, but I am not too convinced that he has changed. Before he meets the spirits, he is Ebenezer Scrooge. But towards the end, I feel like the happiness is forced. Number 3. A Christmas Carol, starring George C. Scott. Scott, along with the rest of the ensemble cast, does a wonderful job of bringing the Dickens novel to life. George C. Scott does a wonderful job as Scrooge, but again, the same with Stewart, I am not convinced that the happiness is real. Number 2. Disney's A Christmas Carol, starring Jim Carrey. I love everything about this movie. The stylistic choice of CGI gives the filmmakers a lot of creativity. I wouldn't recommend this for a child. It is a dark story and there are dark scenes in the film. Between Marley's bottom jaw disconnecting from his mouth to the whole sequence of scenes with the Ghost of Christmas Future, it has a horror element that is sure to scare audiences. Number 1. A Christmas Carol, starring Alastair Sim. This is my favorite A Christmas Carol adaptation for a number of reasons, but the biggest reason is Alastair Sim himself. He is one of my favorite Scrooges because he encompasses everything that a Scrooge character should be. He's cold and cruel to his fellow men in the beginning, and then you see him progressively learn throughout the story, and towards the end he's this giddy, happy fellow who now found a new lease on life.
That just about wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed my video. Agree? Disagree? Feel indifferent? Leave your comments below, and I hope that you have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Kwanzaa. And if you celebrate none of those, have a happy December. I'm Shannon, this is Shannon Reviews, and I'll see you in 2017.